I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well.
I want to say shame on Piers Morgan.
Well, why shame on him and not shame on everybody else?
When you have a platform that people actually consider viable and you invite this, it's almost like the beginning of your end.
Where's the 50 Jay-Z competition? That's the one I've been waiting for.
So, Piers Morgan thought he was doing something big when he brought Jaguar Wright onto his show. If you know Jaguar, you already know she's not afraid to blow the lid off the entire industry.
Because I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious it is. Because if he can be a then anybody can be a.
But it appears 50 thinks he may have made the biggest mistake of his career. And you know, 50 knows how this couple works.
Jay-Z ain't answering the phone? He ain't answering.
She came with receipts, spilling all kinds of tea about the biggest names in the game. But the moment she started talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce, boom, everything flipped.
Little couple, they do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping
Porter?
people against their will. Putting people on planes.
Next thing we know, Piers is out here making a public apology, bending over backward for the power couple.
Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. Like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
So, what exactly went down between Piers Morgan, Jay-Z, and Beyonce? Did Piers really think he could get away with inviting Jaguar Wright on his show, knowing the kind of explosive things she talks about, and not stir up trouble? Let's find out. Fans are saying one of 2 things. Either Jay and Bey slid him a fat check to keep his mouth shut, or they hit him with some heavy threats. Either way, people feel like Piers folded under the pressure and missed the chance to expose the industry's dirty little secrets. Now, this is where 50 Cent comes in. You know he's been beefing with Jay-Z and Beyonce for a long time. He's one of the few who's never been afraid to call them out. And when you connect all the dots between them, Diddy, and this whole mess, it's starting to look like 50 might have been right all along. And let's just say, 50's not the type to let this slide quietly.
Federal authorities have made clear that Sean Diddy Combs isn't the only one accused of crimes that include bribery, making threats, and they say he had plenty of help.
Jay-Z and 50 Cent had a very long-running beef. Jay-Z's always got this crazy way of staying in the spotlight, grabbing headlines like it's second nature. Ever since he blew up, the guy's been all anyone talks about, and the media just can't get enough of him. His life's like a non-stop soap opera, with all these wild twists, and people love every minute of it. For the past 20 years, Jay-Z and 50 Cent have had this on-again, off-again beef that keeps popping up. It all kicked off in 1999 when 50 name-dropped Jay in his track How to Rob. And Jay clapped back on his own song, It's Hot, Some Like It Hot, with the line, I'm about $1, what the F is 50 cents? Word was, Jay was trying to bully 50. Since then, they've been throwing shade at each other here and there as they both kept rising in their careers. The beef between 50 Cent and Jay-Z hit a whole new level when 50 dropped his response track, Be a Gentleman. In the song, 50 didn't hold back, telling Jay-Z straight up to watch what you say. This track was part of his mixtape Guess Who's Back, which dropped in April 2002, and really cranked up the tension between these two hip-hop giants.
Jay walked in the studio, he said it before, but I'm telling you how impactful it was. He walked in the studio and he was like, yo, this dude 50, y'all gonna have to deal with him in the next couple months. He said it to the whole crew.
So 50 Cent's revelations paint a pretty grim picture of Jay-Z, suggesting he's willing to do whatever it takes for fame and fortune. And honestly, considering Jay-Z's track record, it's not all that shocking. He's been linked to some pretty shady stuff in the past, way beyond just sketchy business deals. In a bit of an ironic twist, even though 50 Cent is one of the best-selling rappers ever, he's never won a Grammy. He's been vocal about thinking the industry's been rigged against him from day one. And he's definitely thrown shade at Jay-Z, who's sitting pretty with 24 Grammy Awards. Word is, 50 believes Jay's influence and connections might have something to do with him getting snubbed so many times.
The content is similar to what I would do. They didn't recognize mine. They gave me Grammys when I was with them. when I'm on records with Eminem. Other than that,
As 50 Cent followed his own journey, he believed the music industry favored some artists more than others. He felt that Jay-Z's success had overshadowed his own achievements, creating a rivalry between them. Despite Jay-Z's Grammy wins, 50 Cent stayed determined, voicing his concerns about a flawed and biased system. He continued to challenge the status quo and made his mark in the industry.
I don't see them actually want to accomplish having enough. You know what creates cool around you now?
The timeline of Jay-Z and 50 Cent's relationship is complex. Even now, 50 Cent holds lingering feelings towards Hov, but he acknowledges that the issue might not solely lie with Jay-Z. Despite their differences, 50 seems to believe that the true source of tension between them remains a mystery, possibly even to the powerful mogul himself.
What is the issue? You see what I'm saying? Like, and with M, because like with Nori he had communication. He said, yeah, I talked to the big homie. You said.
In contrast to the complexities of Jay-Z and 50 Cent's relationship, last year's Super Bowl showcased a beautiful star-studded event. 50 Cent took the stage, performing alongside some of his favorite rappers, including Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and Kendrick Lamar. The electrifying atmosphere was further enhanced as Mary J. Blige also graced the stage with them.
That was big. Like look, Dre, that's Dre too. You see what I'm saying? It's Dre and really M, because he wouldn't do it without me.
In a recent interview with Big Boy's Neighborhood, 50 Cent revealed numerous insights about the events unfolding since last year. Despite both 50 Cent and Jay-Z building hip-hop empires, their relationship has never been that of close friends. This fact was made evident when 50 Cent suggested that Jay-Z intentionally excluded him from the commercial for the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show. The revelation has shed light on the complexities and dynamics between these two influential moguls in the music industry. 50 said, I got the call before the Pepsi ad went up. I wasn't in the ad because of Jay-Z and them putting it together. The rapper was then asked if his exclusion from the ad was intentional. No. I think that they were saying that the NFL had some issues with me. I don't know what those issues are, responds 50. What is the issue? You see what I'm saying? He then remarked about Hov seemingly mirroring the looks of Jean-Michel Basquiat. You imagine yourself after a gay painter? Big homie wanna look like a gay painter. This show was part of Jay-Z's multi-year partnership with the NFL, which he signed in 2019. And if you notice Jay-Z, Beyonce and Diddy have been frequently seen together. This was revealed by the rapper Da Bobby. He revealed in Club Shay Shay that he met Beyonce at Diddy's party.
Beyonce, I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020.
And people speculated that if she was at Diddy's party, she might be one of Diddy's alleged accomplices. One person wrote, 50 been trying to us about Diddy. People love Jay and Bass so much they are going to skip over the fact they are always at Diddy parties, when everybody knows what a Diddy party is, so what does that say about them? But recently, Jaguar Wright sent shockwaves when she dropped some bombshells about the power couple on Piers Morgan's show. Jaguar might be a smaller fry in the industry, but that just makes her an easier target. It's not like this is her first run-in with drama or even the law. She's always been a bit of a wild card, unafraid to go after the big dogs, even if it puts her in a risky spot. Her tenacity is impressive, but you have to wonder if it's also a little reckless. Still, she's not the only one brave enough to take shots at her peers. But then, just like that, Piers issued a sudden apology. An apology right after such a viral moment?
Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. Like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
The streets are saying it wasn't just Piers having second thoughts. It may have been the power couple pulling strings behind the scenes, making sure the damage didn't spread any further. Some insiders are whispering that Jay and Bay might have had their legal team on speed dial, sending threats to Piers to shut it down or face serious repercussions. After all, these two have a history of getting what they want, and they're not shy about flexing their influence when it comes to protecting their image. Rumors are swirling that immediately following Jaguar's explosive claims, calls were made to media outlets, giving them a clear ultimatum: remove this content or else. Some speculate that network executives and journalists might be feeling the heat too, fearing they could be the next targets of the couple's wrath if they dare to cover these allegations further.
So he had a guest on his show, and that guest made some claims against Jay-Z, and even he ended up having to apologize to Beyonce as well too.
Adding to the intrigue, there are whispers that some insiders who've worked closely with Jay and Beyonce have begun to spill their own tea, hinting that there's a lot more dirt to uncover. This could could be the start of a massive cover-up in play, with more people potentially coming forward with their stories. And what about the implications for Piers Morgan? Did he really apologize out of guilt, or was it a calculated move to save his career? One thing's for sure, the lengths Jay and Beyonce are willing to go to keep their empire intact should not be underestimated. With the spotlight now on them, it's clear that Kat and Jaguar's revelations could shake the very foundation of their carefully crafted narrative. As they continue to raise their voices, the public is left wondering just how many more secrets are lurking beneath the surface. Days after the YouTube episode aired, Morgan found himself in hot water and took to the camera to issue an apology on behalf of his media company. He made it clear that they should have checked Jaguar's wild claims, which he admitted were unverified. Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact. This whole situation highlights just how far-reaching the influence of the Carters really is. Even a high-profile journalist like Piers Morgan feels the need to backtrack and apologize when their names come up. It's a clear message. Mess with Jay and Bey, and you might find yourself having to do some serious damage control. As the saga unfolds, it's evident that no one wants to step into the ring with this powerhouse couple, especially when they're backed by a legal team ready to swing into action at a moment's notice. There's no public link between her and Beyonce. Still, Jaguar won't stop insisting she's got all the juicy personal details about the Halo singer. It's like she's trying to insert herself into their world, and honestly, it's giving major drama alert vibes. So, during her explosive interview, she didn't hold back. She leaned into her long history with Hov and dropped some serious claims that got his lawyers all riled up. Piers pointed out that Jay-Z had been quiet as a mouse since the Diddy scandal blew up, and he asked Jaguar why she thought that was. Her answer? She boldly claimed that after Diddy's arrest, and possibly thanks to her telling all, Jay would have no choice but to respond.
They're a nasty little couple.
Jay-Z.
They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will.
Jaguar didn't just mean Jay-Z would respond with some polite statement. When she says respond, she's talking about hardcore media control. According to her, Jay-Z and Beyonce have a long track record of shutting down anyone who dares speak out against them. And let's face it, if they've allegedly sabotaged careers and blacklisted artists, what's stopping them from flexing their power over media outlets? Rumors are already swirling that they might have threatened Piers Morgan or his team to scrub that interview with Jaguar from existence. After all, Morgan's sudden apology seemed a little too convenient, didn't it?
Like coverage that different outlets are doing on the Diddy accusations, right?
Right.
He says these people have platforms with or without shows like mine. I will just say though, like I know now because anybody can get on TikTok, YouTube, wherever.
It's starting to look like Piers played with fire and got burned. He had the perfect chance to expose the truth about the industry, but instead he backed down, right when it mattered most. Now his reputation's on shaky ground, and people are already saying this might be the beginning of the end for him. With 50 Cent jumping into the mix, someone who's never been afraid to call out Bey, it's looking like things are only going to get worse for Piers. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.